All right, we're here with Dave Rosenberg at the Concours d'Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut. It's pretty awesome. It's the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance 2015, and you've got a 71 GTO Judge. This is probably the most coveted muscle car, I think. Maybe the AC Cobra is the most recognizable, but this is the most coveted in my mind. This was the one in American Beauty. It's the car that everybody sought after.
Yes, it is. They only made 357 in 1971, so it's hard to come by.
Is 71 the best year in your mind?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not the most powerful. They did detune it a little bit from previous years, insurance reasons and things like that, but being the low numbers makes it better for me.
And how much did they detune it? What was the horsepower in this car?
This horsepower is right around 335. They lowered the compression ratios. This is 7.5 to 1. They were around 9.5 to 1. Public opinion and the insurance companies it was costing too much.
Certainly very, very cool car, though, no matter what. Talk about this particular car. What's the deal with it?
Well, like I said, this is 4-speed with a Rock Crusher M22 transmission, 393 gears in the back. It's a very quick car, not fast. It really could use an overdrive to make it fast, but from point A to point B, stoplight to stoplight, it's hard to come by. It's hard to catch it.
To give people an idea, what was the 0 to 60 time on this car back then?
Well, 0 to 60, it'd probably be in the 12s, some maybe 13s, depending on what tires you had and, what final drive ratio. I mean, 411s would make it a little quicker, but this way you could still drive it on the street with the 393s.
But this was pretty good back then.
Oh, yeah, it was one of the fastest cars to be had, yeah.
How'd you find this car?
This car I found at a gas station for sale in 1980.
In 1980? Wow, yeah. You've had it that long.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm the third owner. I've had it longer than everybody. Back in 1980, it was hard to get gasoline for it. I mean, it gets very poor mileage. I mean, if you're, got a heavy foot, you're lucky to get 5 or 6 miles to a gallon.
Wow, that's pretty awful. Yeah. Guess we didn't care about that in 71. By 79, we cared.
That's right. Yeah, it was. Things changed.
What'd you pay for it?
Oh, I don't know if I want to tell you that.
Come on, you got to tell us what you paid for it.
Well, let's say it was less than $3,000.
Wow, that's impressive. How'd you have the insight to keep it?
I just liked the car when it was new. I couldn't afford it, so when it was 8 years old, 9 years old, I was able to afford it, and I just liked it. I just couldn't part with it.
Did you drive it every day back then?
For about a year, I did. Yeah. Back in 1980, I drove it every day, and of course, I drove it to the gas station about 3 days out of every 3 days. So,
and what did you? When did you restore it, and what did you do to it?
Well, over the past, let me see, this car was painted 10 years ago.
Looks great for a 10-year-old paint job.
Yeah, thank you. And since I've owned it, I've done little things here and there. Every year, I try to do something. 1 year it was the engine. 1 year it was the body work took about 3 years. And, suspension, things like that. It's mostly original, but I mean, all the rubber parts have been, things that would deteriorate over time have been changed.
Do you drive it?
Oh, well, nice days like this, I don't, drive it, to go anywhere really other than a car.
Just take it out.
Yeah.
Nice. And what about the paint color? Did you pick that, or was that the original paint color?
No, that's an original color. It's called Canyon Copper. And it wasn't the most popular paint color that year. Of course, the Carousel Red was the color that was advertised. But I didn't like it at first, but it has grown on me over the years. I wouldn't have changed it.
It's beautiful. How many points do you get when you get into a show like this? Do they call this? This looks to me, I don't know. I would say this is in the high 90s, is it not?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it's up there. The problem is not being a red car. Yeah. If it's a People's Choice Awards, I don't always do so well because people are just drawn to the red cars.
Sure.
If it were red, I'm sure I would do a lot better in People's Choice Awards.
Next time you paint it, maybe.
No, that'd be another car.
No, you got to keep the original paint. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This is really awesome, and congratulations on keeping it since 1980. That's really impressive. That was the year I was born.
Yeah, well.
And the U.S. hockey team won the Olympics.
Yeah.
Gold medal.
Yeah, a lot of good things happened in 1980.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. What about the wheels? Talk about the wheels real quick. I've never seen these wheels on the Judge.
The Honeycomb Wheels. It's a polycast wheel. It's a steel wheel with a plastic insert, which is molded together. 71 was the first year for them. You can see them on cars, the Pontiacs later, 72 up to about 76 when they came out. There 75 when they came out with the snowflake aluminum wheel. You know this is a 71 because the center cap is plain. The 72s and later had the red Pontiac arrow on them.
What makes this particular car, not necessarily the 71, but the GTO Judge, what makes the GTO Judge so special?
Well, maybe just Rowan and Martin's laughing and Sammy Davis saying, "Here come the Judge," because that's where they got the name from. That's when John DeLorean decided to make a Judge in '69, Sammy Davis and laughing was the big thing, and he just grabbed onto the name.
Excellent. Well, I guess maybe that's it. Maybe it's the styling. I'm not really sure, but this is definitely an iconic car. You don't see many around these days. The last one I saw was a gold one about 3 years ago. It was parked. It was a beautiful day like today. It had this tack in the hood, which was an option,
Right.
and it was a drop top, so the top was down. And I haven't seen one since, so it's nice to see them. I always smile, and they certainly are beautiful cars. It must be a lot of fun to drive.
Oh, it is a lot of fun to drive. I wish this was a convertible because in '71 they only made 17 Judge convertibles.
You're all about the Benjamins here.
Well,
Do you
yeah.
enjoy it a little bit?
I love it. I wouldn't have kept it this long if I
That's
didn't
true.
love it so much.
That's true. You could part with it at any point, right?
Absolutely. I've been offered, but not nearly enough.
What options does it have that make it stand out as opposed to another GTO Judge?
Well, the options, it's got the original 8-track tape player, which most people today don't even know what it is.
I would say that's true.
And the 4-speed, the Rock Crusher 4-speed transmission.
I was just reading on Engadget the other day. They were talking about failed electronics, especially in cars throughout the decades, and they called the 8-track failed. And I was like, why did that fail? It worked for the time. There was nothing else available. Why was that failed? They had some other things that were great that failed, great examples of things that failed. I can't even remember them off the top of my head. That was the one thing that stuck out. But all the other things had never really even made it into production. Or if they did, they made it into production for a year at tops. This was something that, had a shelf life and actually served a purpose back then.
Yeah, it did. Of course, 8-track tape was invented by the guy who built Learjets. He invented 8-track tapes, but because it was a single spool, it continually wound around. When cassette tapes came out, they were superior. They were smaller, they were more reliable, they didn't jam, and you could record your own. You never really had an 8-track that you could record at home.
Do you have an 8-track that you play sometimes in the car?
I do. No, I don't. It doesn't work right now. I'm looking for parts to repair it. I have at flea markets picked up some 8-track tapes. I'm trying to get the parts to repair
That'd be
it.
super cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Thanks so much, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
Enjoy
for
the
your
car.
time. I will. Thank you.
Check out the rest of our content here at the Concours d'Elegance from Greenwich, Connecticut. I'm Michael Artsis. Be terrific.